guys, welcome to another video. And today's video I'm just gonna chat with you guys about some stuff with everything that's been going on. I know I haven't really covered it. I've covered, the basics in the news videos and stuff, and no, this is not a video talking about the lawsuit or any of that. This is a video discussing WoW and how I've felt towards it for a while now. And and I thought it was time because a lot of stuff has gone on lately. There's been a lot of players that have left, and so I just thought I would give you guys my perspective. For those that don't know me, I have been playing WoW the entire time. Like, I started right at the beginning, back in 2004, and I have been a non-stop player, playing pretty much every day for the past 17 years. So I've seen the up and downs with WoW for sure. And I've had my moment, this moment that everyone is having right now where, they're frustrated and they're getting emotional about their game and all that. I had my moment, and some of you guys knew about that moment and some don't. The some that knew are people who have been watching my channel for a while. When BFA was the expansion, I had, let's call it, a little ragey flip out moment. And after a couple of days of pondering on whether I wanted to quit, I went and put together a quit video. And I was so mad. I was so mad at how BFA was going. And I was not looking forward to Shadowlands. I didn't like a single thing that was going on in Shadowlands. That we knew was going to go on because we were still in BFA at that point. And so I put together a quit video. It got removed from the channel by myself, of course. It wasn't YouTube or anything. I removed it because I decided not to quit. After a couple of days, I'm like, I like building my collection. I'm just going to keep doing that. And I didn't want to. I've seen so many YouTubers grow their channel off of either a bunch of drama or fake information, and I didn't want to be one of those people, so I yanked it as soon as I decided I was going to keep playing. I took it right off the channel. But for those that watch my videos regularly, 2 days of it being on the channel was enough for you to catch it and see. And in that video, I pretty much, sometimes I wish I hadn't yanked it off the channel, but I did it to not be a clickbait person, right? I did it for good reasoning. It made no sense to keep a quit video on the channel when I'm still playing WoW, right? But some days I'm like, I should have kept it on there, because that video, it would have been a nice little laugh nowadays, because I predicted what would happen in Shadowlands in that video. In that video, I mentioned everything that I thought would go wrong with Shadowlands. I, mentioned how I thought that the level squish would make the game boring, which it has. When you can level 10 characters all in the same week, it gets pretty boring pretty fucking fast. Right? The leveling is very, very fast. And so sometimes I wish I had it, but I'm still glad I, removed it for my morals, basically, But the point here is I totally understand what these people are going through, because I was kind of sad doing that video, I was saying goodbye to my baby of, at that time, I guess it would have been 15 years. And it's hard. It really is. It's not even a matter of being addicted to a game or anything. It's a matter of just playing that game nonstop for, 15 to 17 years, right? So I totally get where these guys come from. And, the ones that I really feel bad for are the ones that only play one type. And more specifically, you PvP players out there. I totally feel for you. If I only did PvP and I didn't care about the PvE content, I would have quit years ago. I'm just gonna say, I admire the PvP players sticking it out as long as they have, because when that's all you got and the system is crap, then yeah, I really do admire those PvP players. For me, I do everything, and when I got to my point in BFA, because trust me, I didn't think I would ever, feel like I wanted to quit, or feel forced to quit, I almost felt like WoW was pushing me out, and when that happened, the biggest reason that happened to me is because in BFA, I was basically on my last mount runs. I had just finished my last mount run that you can solo from like raids and dungeons in BFA, that you could solo in that expansion. And that's what's kept me going all these years. Like, I personally have thought the game has been crap since WoD wasn't bad. I know everyone says WoD's crap, but, there's a couple of good things that came out of WoD, in my personal opinion. One is our cute little bird that you see on screen here. The other is the power level of pets. All of you guys that do that power leveling event, where do you think that came from? Why do you think you do it in your garrison? That's a WoD thing. And I honestly liked the garrison. I think they just gave up on it. But all in all, I enjoyed the garrison, and I still hang out there pretty consistently nowadays. But, point being here, I'm trying not to get off track here. When you're talking about something you've loved for 17 years, it's going to be really easy to get off track. But anyway, point here is that WoD, while it wasn't great, I didn't think it was the complete garbage that everyone compares or claims it to be. And when content really slowed down, because a big reason people probably hate it is because of, being stuck in the last raid forever, right? And when that happened, that was basically the first time, out of all my WoW, that I had started really focusing old content. Up until then, yeah, I did mount farms here and there, but I never really focused it. Like, made sure it was done every week until that patch in WoD. So that was kind of the start of me playing more old content than new content. Now, when Legion came out, it was all new content. I fucking loved Legion. And it ranks to be my third favorite expansion. BC being my favorite, of course. So I played all of that, and then when I felt caught up, I went back. And, but unfortunately, because of playing for so many years, by the time BFA was halfway done, I was pretty close to done on my mount collection. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I'm done. It just means that all that solo content that I could do, now I'm just kind of like a tedious quest line here and there, it's stuff that doesn't take a whole lot of time. And so you easily forget about it. It's stuff I don't really want to stream. so I don't stream it, so I stopped doing mount runs on stream. So now, on the topic of Shadowlands, Shadowlands sucks. I'm gonna tell you that right out. Yes, I'm still playing WoW, but am I one of those players that's in denial and saying the game is good? Hell no. I know the game is bad right now. I have known for 4 years that the game has been bad. Maybe it's been bad for longer for some people, and maybe for some it hasn't even hit bad yet. It really just depends on what you're doing. The people that think Shadowlands is okay, they could be people who are newish to the game, or people who have barely put a dent into their mount collection, because I will say BFA was complete garbage too. And I survived BFA by focusing on my mount collection. It's how I've survived the bad expansions. When the content's bad, I go to my mount farms, or I go to my pet leveling or achievements or whatever else interests me. And I think where the problem lies is that when you've been playing the game for so fucking long and you've accomplished so much, then you start getting bored. And of course you're getting bored with bad content. So you now have bad content and you have very little old content to do. So that's where some of this can lie. Now, I know this isn't the case for most. I know that a lot of people that have quit have like next to no achievement points. But yeah, so all in all, how I feel with Shadowlands right now though is, well, for starters, the anima grind is a little better. I will say that I actually don't mind doing stuff for the anima anymore, because the anima farm, which isn't even a farm, I don't specifically go after it, I just collect what I collect off of whatever I'm doing. But it's good enough that I'm almost maxed on my stuff, and I don't even try to be maxed on it. I haven't even been focusing it. But my garden is max rank 5, and my 3 other, doohickeys that are on that thing are all at 2. So yeah. And before the anima got a little better, I was 1 on all those other 3, and I was ranked 2 on the garden. So yeah, it's been pretty fast. And like I said, I don't even focus it. I just kind of, yeah, it is definitely at a good speed now. So it's a little more enjoyable, which will make it a little more alt friendly, right? So I imagine people are doing that stuff on their alts because it's actually not that bad anymore. So I don't mind the stuff that's in there right now, but Shadowlands still is a bad expansion. It's exactly what I predicted to be. And these people that say, oh, it was good in the beginning, fuck that. I did not like Shadowlands from the very start, and my friends can vouch for that because they were one of those people that were totally excited for Shadowlands. They thought all the zones looked really cool, and while I'll give it this, it was colorful, I guess. Pretty colorful for Shadowlands, I kind of expected it to be a lot more darker, but all in all, I knew that this was coming. I knew before Shadowlands even launched that the level squish, while everyone praised it and they were like, it's about time, I knew it was gonna be the death of the expansion. Because what do you do when you're bored of an expansion? You level alts. What do you do when you've leveled all your alts? Well, fuck if I know. It's always taken me a full expansion to get my alts up to par, right? Never have I been able to do it so easily. Now for the real talk. Between the allegations and the content being bad, do I think WoW is dead? And the answer is hell no. Hell fucking no. Blizzard could lose half their player base and still have millions of players. You know, it's always, I always find it funny when people say that WoW's dying, because WoW is not your traditional game. Like, there isn't just a few players over here. There is massive amounts of players. In game, I have barely noticed a difference. I know number-wise there is a difference, but when I'm playing, I don't see that difference. I can't tell that there's less people playing. And honestly, and I mentioned this to someone, and I think they were a little sad when I mentioned it, but all those people who have quit, if you were on a 6-month sub, you're technically still subbed. So even some of these quitters are still in the numbers. Like, it's gonna be a bit before we can actually see a true number of the player base right now, because Blizzard/WoW likes to hook you into these 6-month subs. This is a big reason why I never do those subs. Like, I never ever think about unsubbing, but I also never want to be stuck in some sort of, you know, that's like being stuck in a contract, right? That's like being stuck in your phone contract, which, by the way, I'm happy mine's ending soon. I know, a little off topic, but my phone contract ends in November, and I can't fucking wait, because my fucking phone has been costing me $130 every month. It is fucking crazy. But anyway, a little off track there. You know, the reality is that we need at least a few months here to see some actual true numbers. So for you guys that like to look at that stuff online, don't believe it for at least a little while. Honestly, the numbers are always kind of altered anyway on there. You should never fully believe those numbers anyway. But you definitely can't believe them right now, because a lot of those people who have quit are still technically subbed because they were in 6-month subs. You know, no matter who's quit, there's still a lot of people in the game. You know, there's still gonna always be those raiders that want to do mythic races. There's always gonna be the mythic plus people wanting to do that. You know, like I've pretty much said this whole video, mount collectors are always gonna be there. You know, every patch there's new mounts to collect, new pets, you know, new achievements to get. So if you're a person that likes collection, you'll never quit. When you like going after collections, you've got like unlimited content. And especially since I'm a big fan of all the things, so I've been working on that for a long time. Technically, I was working on it before they even made the add-on. I was so happy when they made the add-on, because I'd been running things for like no reason whatsoever to collect transmogs I didn't have. And then finally, an add-on was created for it, and I'm like, finally, I can find out how close I am to this shit. So that was really nice. Great add-on if you're looking for some extra things to keep you interested. It's good, but it can destroy you too, because there is a lot of things in the game, and in my personal opinion, transmogs can be tougher to get than some of those mounts, so it could have you running shit for years to come. Now, for the people that have quit, I think it's good to play other games. I know it's probably hard to tell because I do play a lot of WoW, but if you take a look at the channel, just browse the playlist section, just scroll down, and you'll see that I have always built this channel on being variety. You know, it's just WoW keeps me busy, so WoW is the main game. But I never, from the very beginning, had any intentions on this channel only being WoW. And I think that's a smart way to do it. I think those people are seeing that now, is that, you know, when you build your channel on one specific game, in that game, well, I can't say it's dead. It's not dead. But if it dies for you, it's dead to you, then your channel's dead, right? For some of the higher end people, you get away with this. And this is what I find really funny, is because I've heard so many people say that they don't want to change their content. They must keep playing WoW because they're, you know, a content creator and it'll fuck their channel up. If you've already made it as a content creator, you're fine. Your viewership will follow you to whatever game. I always laughed at the high-end content creators that say that, because so what? You lose half your following, you're still gonna have a shit ton of followers. Like, you know, if you're, say, I don't know, say you're at least 100k subs, you know, you'll be fine, you know. But it's a smaller creators where that messes up, and my channel kind of proves that. Like, my WoW videos, they do good. They're not like, you know, they don't get thousands in a day or anything, unless I make a real good one. But they do good. They do good considering the progress I've taken it from the beginning, you know. But then when I do a playthrough, it's like 5 viewers or something like that. So I understand what they mean. I've been there, but they would never experience it the way I experience it. They will always have people watching any video they do. So I've just never understood that, why, you know, like, you should never feel forced to play your game. Even me as a small creator, if I ever did actually want to quit WoW, which I almost did in BFA, you know, if I ever did, I would just fucking do it. Because while it would really affect my channel, it's like at the same time, I'm small enough that I can make my channel whatever the fuck I want to make it right now. Like, I'm not bound to anything. I don't have people telling me they want, you know, whatever content. You guys just get what I throw at you, you know? Like, I make the decisions here. You know, it's the good part of being a small creator, is you don't really have people saying, hey, you should do a video on this, you should do a video on that. I do what I fucking want, and you guys either enjoy it or you don't. You know, like, and I like my channel like that, because I didn't decide to be a YouTube creator to do what you guys want, right? I'm doing what I want over here. So, and that's the way it should be. You do what you want, and you have a community of people who also enjoy what you enjoy, right? And that's how you build. That one might have went off a little longer than needed, but I just thought I would, you know, just add that in, that if you're tired of WoW and you're a creator, like, first off, if you're tired of WoW and you're a player, fucking go play something else. Like, what is stopping you? And if you're tired of WoW and you're a creator, same thing. Like, the thing is, it doesn't even matter if you're creating videos for passion or for money. The same outcome should be that you're having fun. Because the reason making money from video games is a dream job is because you're doing what you love. If you're stuck playing some game that you don't even want to play, but you're playing it because you're a content creator and your money will stop if you don't, then what the fuck are you doing anyway? You're just basically doing a 9-to-5 job then. You know, like that's the way I see it. And I have always said that to my community. I've always said that if a game does not interest me, I'm dropping it right there and then, and we're moving on to something else. Because, well, for one, I don't really get paid here. I'm not a YouTuber that gets a paycheck. Well, I do, but it's small. So, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want anyway. You know, like, there's nothing stopping me when no one's paying me. You know, but working for free over here. You know, but the reality is you should always be doing what you want. Like, video games is an escape. It's supposed to be your escape from whatever and your enjoyment. And you should never feel like you have to be playing a game you don't want to play. Now, with that said, you might be asking why I'm playing it. I still enjoy WoW. I think the expansions for the past 4 years have been crap. Yes, I do. I have not liked the game since Legion. You know, since the end of Legion. But to me, the game is not only current content. I have a lot of stuff I still need to do in old content that I didn't do over the past years. You know, so that's why I still love the game and I still play it. And, you know, right now I'm able to catch up on some of that stuff that I didn't get done a long time ago. And as far as playthroughs, I have always thrown a playthrough in. I'm recording one, you know, at the moment anyway. Well, not at the moment of speaking, but like, you know, in this time frame. We're recording one. It's Zelda. It's one of the Zelda games, and yeah, I've always been like that. You guys have those that have been part of the channel for a while. You may know that a lot of the time, you know, yes, a WoW is definitely more on the channel than the playthroughs, but the playthroughs, the number one time where you see a playthrough is the beginning of an expansion, because I'm busy in WoW. So what I do is I line up, I record playthroughs like off and on all year, and I'll just keep them in a folder. And then when an expansion's getting ready to roll out, I'll spend like, I don't know, a couple of weeks editing that playthrough, and then I load it up on the channel on pretty much launch day of a WoW expansion, and that buys me like a month of leveling before I need to do some WoW videos. So that's usually the break. Now I know a WoW expansion's only once every 2 years, and no, it's not the only break, but that is the one guaranteed time that playthroughs go on the channel. And then I just kind of put them in between content when I have nothing for WoW. I think lots of people should do that, honestly. I don't, you know, I guess this is weird for me to say because I did play WoW for a really long time without putting other games into the picture. I fell out of the loop of like other games until I came to streams. It was 5 years ago, so 5 years ago, I started putting playthroughs back in my life. And up until then, I hadn't actually played a single, like, solo player game in a good 10 years. You know? Like, yeah, it was before WoW. And honestly, before WoW, I was playing Diablo. So, you know, I love my solo player games, but it's always been kind of at the side of something else. It's never been, you know, I'm going to play, you know, Zelda this month, and then next month I'm going to play, you know, Final Fantasy, you know, and all that, right? And on the topic of Final Fantasy, the reason you don't see the MMO on the channel here is because I only like the solo player Final Fantasy games. So you will see those. I have been recording a couple. I've played them before, but I've been like redoing them. And so I have been recording a couple that you will see, but I'm I'm not at all interested in their MMO. I am only interested in their solo player games. You know, so as far as MMO goes, I've seen a lot of MMOs and none of them interest me. Not a single one. And if WoW ever died, I think we would be a variety channel. I'm just gonna say it. You know, if WoW ever did die and, you know, they decided to take down servers, and keep in mind, this would be years down the road. This would not be something that would happen soon. But if it did, I think I'd start and end with WoW, because that's pretty much how it has been for me. WoW was my very first MMO. My first time I played an MMO was back in 2004, and it was this sucker. And honestly, it's what kept me upgrading my computer, really, because there was only one other computer game in my past that I really enjoyed, and that was Unreal Tournament. I used to play the fuck out of that game. Aside from that, prior to WoW, and, you know, aside from Diablo, of course, as well, I was a console player. I was huge into Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Animal Crossing, the original, of course. I played the one on the GameCube, so I was definitely a console player back then, and I played a lot of playthroughs, honestly. Back then, I did not see a reason to keep my computers upgraded. It wasn't until WoW. WoW legit has cost me so much money, because on top of the roughly $4,000 I've sunk into playtime, and then however much more I've spent on the stores and, you know, merchandise and all that, they are also the reason I upgrade the computer. You know, now, of course, another reason to keep a computer would be for editing and stuff. But I tell you, if I left WoW and I wasn't a YouTube creator, I probably would just stop buying computers. You know, because it's really the only... It and Diablo are the only computer games I play. And then if I'm not playing those, I'm over on my PlayStation or my Nintendo. I have an Xbox too, but it kind of acts as a Netflix machine right now. But yeah, that's kind of how I have been. I know I'm probably gonna get some comments on that, because, you know, PC Master Race. And don't get me wrong, if you go and look at my Steam page, you'll see that I have played the fuck out of a lot of computer games. I just find that I don't have to do so much maintenance on a console to have my games run, you know? It's just so much, like, stress-free over there compared to my computer. Whereas, you know, I have to upgrade it. I've never had to upgrade a console. I just always want the new consoles. But the old consoles are never broken when I buy the new ones. So it's just such a different story over there, you know? And luckily I never got the Ring of Death on the Xbox, so that's cool. Anyway, back to our topic. I kind of cut myself off, totally sidetracked. Back to the topic of other MMOs. And I have tried some, you know, in between. The first one I tried was ESO, which I tried in BFA. I didn't give other MMOs even a glance until I started experiencing bad content in WoW, because I treat my games like I treat my boyfriends. You know, if you're, you know, keeping me satisfied, then I don't have to look anywhere else, right? And WoW did that. You know, WoW kept me satisfied for many years, up until BFA, so I never looked at any other MMOs. I heard of many. I heard of people, playing RuneScape. I heard people were playing WildStar, although I think that one went down or something. And I kind of regret not checking that one out, though, because I've heard such great things about that one. Rumor is that maybe they just released it a little too early. It might have done better if it was a little later of a release. But I never looked at them because I loved the game I was playing. And like I said, if you love the game you're playing, what makes you look elsewhere? There's no reason. I'm not saying you can't play multiple games, but like, I didn't want to. I was happy with this one, and I already had my playthroughs that I play on the side. Just because I play WoW doesn't mean that I have to play another MMO. I can play WoW and then play, playthroughs on the side, and that's pretty much how I've been. Okay, so I know this video has kind of dragged out, and my bad. I'm not even gonna apologize for that, because like, this is talking about something I've loved for 17 years. I knew we were gonna kind of sidetrack a bit, and it's hard to put your love and passion of a game of 17 years into a 5-minute video. Like, it's, without giving explanation. Like, the whole point of making videos here is for you to understand where I'm coming from, and you can't understand that if I don't explain why I feel certain ways, right? So we'll just end it on this note. Well, for starters, on screen here, I have shown you my favorite expansions. This is always on my Twitch page. That's where I dragged it from, actually. And so if you're ever curious, you can always look at my Twitch page. I have some other info there, I think. As far as what I'm doing right now, I'm still playing WoW, obviously. I'm playing a little more casually lately, but honestly, I've been casual all of Shadowlands. Like, and when I say casual, maybe I should explain, because casual to someone is probably someone taking breaks. I don't take breaks. I've been playing every day. To me, casual means I'm not like raiding three times a week or something, So I'm just kind of, farming mounts. I do my weekly. I am max renown for the week right now. Like, I keep up on stuff, but I casually do things. And my upcoming plans is that, well, honestly, I don't think WoW is gonna get any better. As far as people who have quit, I think they will come back eventually. When the new expansion comes out, they're gonna want to know if it's good. And the only way to know if an expansion is good is to play it yourself. Sure, you could wait around for people to bitch, but all the people that would have bitched about the new expansion have already quit. So those people would have to be playing the game for you to have any influence. And I would just like to say, don't ever be influenced by a YouTuber. I know they're influencers, but, play the game yourself, discover the content yourself, and make your own decision. But I definitely think they will be back. Quitting WoW is, I don't think it's ever a permanent thing. I know a couple of people who have made it permanent, but those people don't pay attention to WoW content. The ones that have made it permanent, when they left everything. They stopped going to Wowhead. They stopped going to any of those other sites. They stopped logging into their Battle.net. Stop watching, WoW YouTube videos and stuff like that. Those are the only people I've seen truly quit, are people who have stopped paying attention to it when they leave. the thing is, all these people who have left, they're still doing WoW videos. It's hilarious, honestly. I laugh every time because they literally shit on the game. They have quit, and they are still complaining about the game in their videos when they're not even playing the game anymore. You know? It's, it's... Honestly, it reminds me of someone who really doesn't want to move on. It's that person that, like, leaves their relationship, but they're thinking about that other person all the time, and they're, like, on the verge of going back, and they're just, like, trying to hold themselves back. And yeah, that's exactly what that reminds me of. You know, so you know those people are returning. You know it. You know, if it's not for the game, it's going to be for the content. So that they can, you know, get some views on some videos, right? So yeah, I don't think this is a forever decision. I think people really, like, I understand the ones that left because of bad content, but the ones that left because of, like, the legal stuff that's been going on, it's like hearing something for the first time and you're like, oh, I'm out of here. You know, like, they really acted fast, and yeah, I would never quit because of some crap that's going on Twitter or articles or anything, even if it is real. I would never quit a game because of that. The reason would have to be content. So I admire the people that made their decision based off of content and not the allegations. Because the reality is, you know how many people are bad in this world? You know? If we quit everything because there was a bad person involved in that project, we'd have nothing. Just to kind of summarize, yes, I still love my WoW. Yes, I still play it. No, the content is crap. And do I think they will die? No. I don't think WoW is dead. I personally think WoW will always have players, and they're really good at always having new players. There's always new people coming into WoW, which honestly is what keeps it going. I don't blame people for leaving, you know, even if I don't like the Final Fantasy MMO, it's whatever, you know, it's whatever you like is important, you know, like, you know, you leave WoW for a game that you'd enjoy. My biggest thing with Final Fantasy is I felt like you could be done with it too early. I like WoW because of the grind. And when it was actually a podcast of Asmon's that stirred me away. I was actually gonna give it a try. And I did attempt it twice, actually. But I was gonna try, but then, yeah, I watched a podcast and they were saying how you only have to, you know, farm a mount so many times and then you get it. And I was like, what the fuck's that garbage? You get a mount in less than a year? What the? And so I was like instantly turned off. You know, I was like, wait a sec, is this a baby game? Or, you know, like, where's the grind? And yeah, and, you know, luckily, I gave it another try, because I had tried in BFA when I did that 2-day quit. I went to Final Fantasy, and I played it for an hour. Yeah, that's as long as I lasted, and I lasted even less the time I did give it a go when there was the hype before Asmon had hopped in. And I still didn't like it. And then there'd be people saying, well, you gotta put 100 hours into the game in order to like it. And you know, people said the same thing with PoE. And you know what I did? I didn't play it. That's what I did. Like, I'm not putting no 100 hours into a game just to find out if I'm gonna like it. Like, when I loaded up WoW for the first time, I liked it instantly. I fell in love with it right away. If other MMOs can't do that for me, then they're trash, in my opinion. And they will not get played. So, no disrespect for anyone that might be a Final Fantasy player here. This isn't like a diss on Final Fantasy. It's just not for me. And no game in history should you ever have to play for 100 hours to find out if you like the game. If you don't like it I would say like
I can't let go.
A full night. Give it like an 8-hour run. You know, I only gave it one, but you know, if you want to give it a real shot, I guess you could give it a night, right?
Alone.
And yeah, and if the leveling experience is crap, then the game is crap in my mind. Because for me, I love leveling. You know, leveling's a big part of it. Also, they did mention that PvP is like crap in Final Fantasy. So I would, you know, I'm coming from WoW, so I kind of want everything WoW has, right? So I would want PvP to be kind of decent. I'm a diehard WoW fan, guys. Like I'm going down with this ship. I'm just gonna tell you. You know, I don't care what people say. You know, I know a lot of people make their comments on people who stay with games, but the thing is, I don't hate this game. You know, I'm not a person that's forcing themselves to play a game. I'm playing a game that I love and have loved for 17 years. And when the content gets bad, I just go play the parts of the game that I love. As far as what I'm looking forward to, there may be a little shift in the channel when they finally release Diablo 4. Now, that is going to be years down the road, but I am super, super hyped for that game. Like, you guys have no idea how excited I am for Diablo 4. Like, it's crazy. I fucking loved Diablo 3. Used to be the streams. It was actually what we could have grown on. I had a bigger Diablo community than a WoW community, but I chose WoW, and so I wanted to grow a WoW community. And that's the unfortunate part, right? It's hard when you want to grow on your passion, and sometimes it's another game that does it, right? Anyway, that is it for today's video. I think I've rambled enough, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the game. Are you still playing, or have you quit? You know, do you like the content that's going on, or are you doing some other content? Let me know what your favorite expansion was. And that is it for today's video. So have a great one, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.